everyone. Welcome to another episode of, I guess, what we're now calling the composition of my imagination.
She wrote it, so it's her imagination.
Yeah. So this is the show where we talk everything about Angel of Death, and we're on a series right now called Murmurs of Murr County. I am your host and author, Stevie Jo. These are my awesome book guardians, Superman and Tasha, and we have been talking all week long and all month long, actually, about Aezra, everybody's favorite love to hate sanguise. Oh, we are going to continue that discussion today, talking about Aezra as he is in Veiled Commandments. So, starting right off the bat with chapter 14, Aezra is waiting in the basement club of the Devil's Playground for Lilith to show up. He hasn't seen her in literally forever, so he's understandably nervous. And when I say literally, I mean literally, because he is fucking old. Plus, Aezra hasn't been feeling well, as we talked about in the last video. So, he kind of isn't all there, so he's nervous, sweaty, whatever. He even indicates to us, the reader, that he thinks he has tasted Skylar's blood, and that's why he's sick. We did speculate in the last video that maybe Skylar isn't his lifeblood, but Aezra doesn't know that yet. So he hasn't because my point here is that if he's sick from drinking from Skylar, that still doesn't explain why he can drink from Creature Comforts and not get sick. So that's what we had talked about. So then Lilith comes in and she just falls all over him. She's so excited to be with him. He's thrilled to be reunited with her. But she brought a pet with her. She brought Ava in the form of her panther because Lilith and Ava are bonded in Ava's way. The creature lichen way. So Aezra doesn't recognize that it's Ava's panther at first, but she keeps growling at him, warning Lilith not to trust Aezra, and of course he's like, you fucking have Ava as your pet of all people? And Lilith's like, the fuck did you do to her? She's really defensive because she's very protective of this pet. And so Lilith is not pleased that her pet does not want her to trust Aezra. She ends up interrogating him about Skylar and their failed engagement, and then Aezra goes from being thrilled to see her to being kind of backed into a corner. Do you start to feel a little bad for the guy at this point? No? Because he hasn't even had 5 seconds to enjoy being with her before she's hitting him with a bus.
You know what? He needs to be hit with a bus, a sledgehammer, everything else, because from previous experience that he's not a good soul. So whatever he's going to do with Lilith, he's probably going to screw it up.
Just like Elias predicted in the last video. Well, so Lilith and Aezra go into a private room of the club, shutting out Ava so that they can have a moment for him to quickly explain to Lilith what has been happening. And he very quickly learns that Lilith is incredibly defensive of Elias because they start talking about Aezra's failed engagement to Sky, and Lilith is like, I can't believe you would move on without me, and Aezra's like, oh yeah, and you're gonna sit here and tell me you didn't fuck Elias once or twice whenever I was gone? And Lilith gets incredibly defensive, saying that he's not allowed to say anything bad about Elias because, no, she hasn't slept with him. She doesn't look at him that way. But Elias has helped her. He saved her, is what Lilith keeps saying over and over again. She owes him a debt of gratitude because of how he saved her. How do you think this makes Aezra feel? Does that kind of justify his rivalry with Elias and make Aezra a little less insufferable? Or is it just another thing?
It's just another thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you try to make it sound like, Aezra is just being dumped on. It's that's what the man deserves. I mean, he's not been a good character. He's been making a lot of mistakes. Most of it his own fault.
Yeah.
And so, you know what? Well, it should tear into him. One,
Yeah.
it's been a long, long damn time, and two, it's been a long, long damn time.
Okay. So how do you think it makes Aezra feel knowing that Lilith has such a loyalty to the man that he considers his rival, like his arch nemesis?
It's a threat.
So is that going to strain things for him and Lilith?
No.
No?
At least not initially. Initially, it's all going to be physical.
Okay. Well, to your point, in their twisted way, they start to get over their fight as sexual tension rises, and Lilith is instantly open to being Aezra's source of food for eternity. So if he'll let her. So Aezra feeds from her, and really it seems like it's going well until it isn't. He ends up getting really sick from feeding off of her, and Lilith understands at that point what he needs, so she tells him that she will go and get the nourishment he requires and bring it back to him. If Aezra and Lilith used to be close lovers, why would Aezra get sick from feeding off of her? Because of all people, it seems like she should be.
Should be.
So what the hell's going on here?
That, or maybe her blood's poisoned.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like somebody put something in there that it's obviously not going to kill her.
Right.
But for St. Wheeze, it'll make them violently sick.
Almost like a feral gene.
Pretty close, but not strong enough to be, to actually turn them feral.
Okay.
Blessed Implosion, 5th in the Angel of Death series, now available at StevieJoAuthor.com. Join me in July at the Imaginarium, where I'll be a first-time panelist. We'll also have a booth where we're selling the first 5 books in the Angel of Death series, the guidebook to the Heaven Realm, and cover art prints. Head over to entertheimaginarium.com for more information and to get your tickets today.
Well, then we move on to chapter 22. Sky and Peyton are at the Devil's Fountain the night after Sky and Eli are attacked by Ava so that Lilith can feed Aezra and make him well again. Got all that?
Yeah.
We ran over that pretty quickly? Okay, good. Aezra happens...
That was a good chapter, though.
Yeah. Aezra happens to be at the Devil's Fountain that same time while Sky and Peyton are there just sitting at the bar, trying to rekindle their sister friendship, whatever. And Aezra decides, let me go up to them. I want to say hi, at least to Peyton. So he comes up, he hugs Peyton, and then he puts a hand on Sky's back and whispers in her ear that if she gets bored, give him a call. So, interesting note here from his perspective. In the dim lights of the bar, Aezra sees how Sky has changed over the last year. He sees parts of it because of the dim lighting and everything.
Yeah.
He notices her dark makeup, her tattoos. He can't stand thinking that Elias influenced all of that change in her. But at the same time, he kind of finds her a little enticing this way. Why do you think Aezra has these dual feelings? Is it still driven by the bloodlust?
A little bit, but it's a whole territorial thing. In his mind, in Aezra's mind, he looks at Sky as his property.
Keep that in mind for in a little bit.
And the fact that he can't stand Elias and think, ew.
Like she's tainted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that just irritates him. And the fact that Elias is successful where Aezra is kind of there.
Yeah. And that Aezra even does go so far as to say when he's looking at her, he says that her perfect temple now has stained glass windows. So, referring to the tattoos she has. Additionally, to that question, do you think Aezra's interaction with Sky here shows signs of his old ways, or is he just a desperate predator since he's actually pretty sick right now?
Might be an act of desperation.
I think it's both.
Okay. Why do we think it's...
Because it is a desperation if he thinks that her blood is the life.
Then he's going to revert back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pin her against the wall. That always worked.
Was him telling Sky to call him later, was that an attempt to regain some of that magical control he no longer has?
Maybe.
Yes. Absolutely.
All I see is, ew, lounge lizards. You know, him coming in a leisure suit with a gold chain,
He's so grossed out by Aezra. He's not like he doesn't hate him the most, but he's like, ugh, gross, creepy.
I mean, you just get that stink on you, and there's nothing you can wash it off with. So
just because of, since I know that type of guy, they do dress well. Appearance is everything. So I couldn't see him in like a one-piece lounge leisure suit with the hamburger meat hanging out and the gold. Like, I don't see that, no.
You don't see that, but his attitude, the way he carries himself, he wants to look the best. But it's that slimy,
his action.
Yes.
He's wearing like affliction t-shirts and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, he's wearing like the monster baseball cap or whatever. Like, he's I just see he's a good looking guy. Like, okay, Clueless. He's very much a Monet. He looks really good from far away, but up close you can see he's a total mess.
Yeah. Okay.
Very much that.
I accept that description.
He looks good until he opens. He's one of those. He looks really good, and you're like, oh, I'll fucking tear that shit up. Then he open his mouth. Looks good until he starts talking, and then it's like, you so lost any chance you had.
And that explains why his relationship with Sky was so sexually charged.
Yeah,
because it was like anything to just shut your mouth.
Yeah,
just shut up.
Like,
that's how she is. Like, that's the way you described it is perfect, because that's how she most likely viewed him. Is one of those, like, you know, you're gorgeous and I love looking at you and you're okay in bed.
Yeah.
But, like, can you just...
Yeah. Just... Like, they look really good. They even smell really good.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, it's as soon as they open their mouth, it's like, never mind, I'm good.
Yeah. So, yes, on that note, we will end the video for today, and we'll move on to the last few chapters that Aezra's in a couple days. So be sure you subscribe to more Murmurs of Murr County with Aezra. We love you, and we'll see you then.
Catch up on the Angel of Death series today. The first 4 entries are now available directly at StevieJoAuthor.com.